made a big play down on the sideline. 5 minutes. Shoot, we didn't want to make the defense, make another stop for us, again. And there's so much things to learn from this game. And I'm just proud of this team doesn't matter if it's 24-23 or, 3-2. So proud we got the win.
Oops, Drake's done it again. The hottest quarterback in the league stays hot. We're breaking it down all show long and giving out game balls to him and everyone else on this team.
That's 6 straight wins for the Patriots. You know what, though? The Bruins, they've got 3 in a row after taking care of business at the Garden. We'll talk about the Bees, how they are getting the job done lately, plus the Celtics. Can they start a streak? Home at the Garden tonight against the Jazz.
Victory Monday, November the 3rd, starts right now on Boston has entered the chat. Adam, go long.
Let's go.
That's it. Yeah, baby.
That's it.
Victory Monday yet again. Drake Maye has the internet going nuts. Chris tweets the Will Campbell tackle after that Drake fumble sums up what this team is about. Heart and effort. And I'm here for it.
This is a man, don't forget draft night when he said, I will die for my quarterback.
I believe him. Drake Maye's burner tweets, easy win for the Patriots. Oh, that boy icy. His wrist is icy. His neck is an igloo. And look at the grill. Let me see your grill. Your what? Drake Maye, baby. MVP caliber stuff. Not for one game, but for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row for these Patriots. They ain't playing no games as we welcome you into Boston has entered the chat. Travis Thomas, Adam Kaufman.
I thought we were about to get the 6-7.
You want to do it? We'll do a little something.
Oh, 6 in a row, 7-2 atop the AFC East. Maybe soon enough atop the AFC because the Colts, they're also 7-2. The Broncos, they're also 7-2. Yeah, technically the Patriots, they're 3rd in the conference based on tiebreakers, but that's just for today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, figure of speech, could change. New England could be number 1 in the conference in due time, my friend. Colts weren't supposed to lose to the Steelers. The Steelers? Come on, this team sucks. That's going to fall apart going forward. So this Patriots team, I know, wasn't a perfect win.
No.
There were plenty of things that went wrong in this game against the Falcons. Hell, it could have gone to overtime if not for maybe the first game ball, your game ball, right?
Yeah.
Our guy, our old friend, Parker Romo in Andy Borregales we trust.
Yeah, thank you, Parker. I mean, all these players with the last name Romo, it's kind of... all of you choke in the big moments. It's unbelievable.
Hey,
you had one job.
That other Romo's going to be on the call next week. Patriots are getting the top crew.
Oh, he'll
Nance
choke
coming into town.
He'll choke
not here and going to Tampa.
Romo, you had one job, dog. You don't throw no passes. You don't catch a cold. You don't catch nothing. You don't tackle nobody. You just kick, and you missed an extra point. Not a 68-game winner like my man Cam Little.
68 yards.
Not like him.
NFL record
Not like
by
him.
Little.
This was an extra point.
Chip shot.
All you had to do was make it. We're going to overtime. Drake would have won it, but you missed it because you're a loser. So this game ball's for you. But, of course, we're giving game balls to Drake Maye because why wouldn't you? Now, another great game of just throwing it in buckets. He was throwing lasers out there. The touch is there. The rocket launcher arm is there. He's reading defenses. Want him to clean up the turnovers.
A little bit.
Just a skosh.
A little bit.
Turn up the let's button up on the turnovers. Just a skosh. But Drake Maye yet again using his legs, using his arms, his brain. He did it again. Here he is after another stellar performance as the Patriots stay hot.
Yeah. First, I just play better. Man, I got to play better for this team. Down the road. I think it's tough. It's tough in a game where you win, and you can feel in that locker room that these guys know we can play better. And I think it's a good feeling to have, but also at the same time, it's tough to win in this league. So you got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy it. And Hunt made a big play down on the sideline. 5 minutes. Shoot, we didn't want to make the defense make another stop for us. Again and. There's so much things to learn from this game, and I'm just proud of this team doesn't matter if it's 24-23 or, 3-2. So proud we got the win.
Drake, I know you said it's not your best game, clearly. But one thing in the second half we all noticed, after that interception and you were on the sideline, it looked like Mike Vrabel came right up to you, had some encouraging words for you. How important is that for you as a young player, and if you might share a little bit about what he said?
Yeah, he's great at coming up to me after, really every drive. He comes over and says something to me. Always positive, always want me to rally the guys around me, always, challenging me to, battle adversity and get the guys going. And I think, I appreciate the way he coaches me. He's hard on me, but he's, very positive, and I think he wants the best out of me, and everything that he says to me, I think it's going to be important and become true.
Drakey, you ballin', baby. Call us 617-790-0928. Your thoughts on Drake Maye, my brother?
Well, listen, Maye, you said it earlier, like, here we go again. Well, here we go again with Drake Maye. Of 8 straight games, 200-plus passing yards, 100-plus passer rating. That is a record for guys 24 or younger. Patrick Mahomes was the one that he was tied with at 7, obviously 8. It's all about Maye. As far as guys to do it at any age in NFL history, listen to this company. Tom Brady.
Okay.
Peyton Manning.
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
That's it. Hall of Famers. And Rodgers, by the way, holds the record at 12. So we're on watch. Maye could get there.
Wow.
Obviously, we're only halfway through the year right now.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't a perfect game for Maye. He wasn't as efficient as he typically is in terms of the completion percentage.
A little sloppy.
He had the 2 turnovers. The Patriots very rarely, the way they've been playing throughout this year, lose the turnover battle. They had 2. None for the Falcons. This was not an elite game for this offense, but I think what's kind of encouraging about that is we can look at this team, nitpick flaws, and there were some, and still they come out on top. This is a game that over the last handful of years, the Patriots maybe aren't even in, let alone find a way to win it. But Maye, there was a potential tone-setting moment there at the end of the first half where in that final minute, he turns the ball over, obviously, the strip sack, and that was the second turnover of the half, had previously been intercepted, and we were talking about that Will Campbell tackle on that fumble right there, and it could have been maybe 28-3, how does Atlanta feel about that? Could have been 28-3 at halftime if the Patriots go down and score. Instead, they turn it over. The Falcons come back. They flip it. It's 21-14, or so I take it back, not 3-7. It's 21-14, a 14-point game, potentially, or at that moment, becomes a 7-point game, and now the Patriots are having to kind of reassess the way this is playing out.
Sure.
And second half was not phenomenal, better defensively than it was offensively, but you get outscored 9-0. Should have been 10, I guess,
Absolutely.
Romo, but outscored 9-0 in that fourth quarter. The Patriots, though, they clamped down when they had to. No, it wasn't good in the red zone. 3 for 3 were the Falcons, but third down defense, 9 out of 10 on third downs. And the offense, by the way, moved the chains when it had to. 8 for 12, I think it was.
Wow.
The Patriots on third down offensively. And so, again, this was kind of we use the term bend but don't break a lot around here. There was a lot of bend but don't break in this win for the Patriots. They get the job done and did so with Kayshon Boutte leaving this game early with his injury, an atypical number 1 receiver. Stephon Diggs, he had a touchdown. Cardi B was in attendance. Robert Kraft Sweet watching this thing. There's the celebration for sure. But no, it was a different guy. It was Pop Douglas.
Pop Douglas. Listen, I mean, look. He not only looked like a true number 1 wide receiver yesterday with the big plays with Boutte being out, with Diggs having a good game but not being a focal point, but even, and I know you want to speak to this, he had stuff off the field that was heavier and bigger than anything having to do with anything on the field. Pop Douglas for sure gets a game ball for us, brother.
Well, better than me. Let's hear from the man.
Yesterday, my uncle got shot, killed last night. And boy, this whole morning, man, my mood was just different. Man, I couldn't hold my tears. I couldn't hold nothing. Every time somebody said, keep your head up, man, my eyes kept watering up. And I just know he was here with me today. First day, in heaven, he was working. And man, I'm blessed.
First of all, I'm sorry for your loss. I can see it in your eye patch. I'm sure he would have been proud to see you play. Can you maybe take us through what emotions are you feeling as you score that first touchdown about him?
Man, I just look to the sky, and I told him thank you, because I know he's with me, and next week, we go back to Florida, and he was ready to come. So, he came early. He came to this game, man. It's a blessing, man.
What's your uncle's name?
Tiger. We call him Tiger.
Tiger would have seen your first 100-yard game as a Patriot. What do you think that he's thinking up in heaven? 6 straight win. seeing you shining like this?
Man, I know he up there turned right now. Man, it's a blessing, man. I just know he's up there, excited for sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's heartbreaking. And our thoughts, prayers, everything go out to Pop Douglas and his family. But I marvel, and this is sports of sports, right? This is why it's the distraction that it's capable of being for anybody in any sort of situation, but obviously somebody like Pop to be right in the thick of it as he was, for him to be able to, like he said, in a way kind of use it, as motivation and to use football at the same time to clear his head and just sort of balance those two things out together and had a career day in the process.
Certain things are bigger than the game, my brother. I want to give a game ball to our head coach, Mike Vrabel. Now, before we hear from him, I just want to point out that the Falcons head coach, Raheem Morris, who I like, is making all kinds of excuses why his team lost. Well, the Patriots were faking our snap count by clapping.
I think we got a tweet,
clapping, and we thought it was us. That's why we're offsides. Josh Kendall tweets, the Patriots clapped to simulate Atlanta's snap count and force an early snap on the play that led to that intentional grounding on the final series. Raheem Morris, here it is, said, quote, "Great situational football by them," he said. Oh, I bet. I mean, this is just excuse city. So here's a game ball to our guy who doesn't make excuses.
No, before we even hear from Vrabel, just to react to that tweet, I love that tweet. Let me tell you why I love that tweet. Because we are back. Oh, we are back.
We're so back.
The Spygate, Deflategate. You know the Patriots are back on the radar in the NFL when people are accusing them of cheating. So this is awesome. I'm here for it. More of these tweets, please.
What's next?
We are back.
Yeah. What's next? Baker Mayfield next week says, that ball felt a little deflated. I don't know. Let's hear from a head coach who doesn't make excuses. Let's hear from a head coach who can coach his team, who's a leader of men, who's leading this team to the promised land as a coach, just like he did as a player, Mike Vrabel.
And just get ready to go on the road, Understand that that's how it goes in this league sometimes. It's tough. But embrace, don't let anybody take the joy of what we do. Joy is authentic. Joy comes from these guys caring about each other, being happy for the guy next to them that made a play. Joy is about what we do in here, and I think that they need to embrace that and be thankful for what they get to do and what I get to do. And we talked about when sometimes you get this taken away from you. Whether you're a player and you get cut, or you're a coach and you get fired and you get another opportunity. You want to try to make the most of it and enjoy it.
Josh Burgundy to the right.
Mike, we saw you talking to Drake on the sideline after that interception. It looked like some encouraging words. How important is it for you to pick him up in that spot?
Well, I just have to, I have to play a lot of different personalities and try to figure out what's best for our football team, and told our offense that we were going to need one drive to win the football game. At some point in time, I think there were 7 minutes left. I said, I don't know if it's going to be a 2-minute drive or it's going to be a 5-minute drive, but we're going to need one more drive from you, and that's all that's going to matter. And as soon as the defense goes out there, I'll let you know if it's going to be a 2-minute or a 5-minute, and it ended up being a 5-minute. So they executed.
617-790-0928. Vrabel did a great job down the stretch of this game, as he does late games. He's really good as a head coach. He was the same way in Tennessee, so you just have to give him those props. He handles late game very well. The Falcons, of course, did all of us a huge favor, missing the extra point. But in the end, look, you got to give the defense some credit. I know they made us sweat, but they bottled up Bijan Robinson the entire day. That is the Falcons' weapon. Now, we saw they dared Michael Penix to beat him. And I'll be damned if him and Drake London didn't almost do it. But that was the game plan. Even watching the game, I'm like, the game plan was to come in and stop the run, which they did, and dare this kid Penix to beat them. He almost did it, but almost doesn't count. Just in horseshoes and hand grenades. So in the end, the Patriots got it done.
Yeah, London was exceptional in his return to the lineup, had the 3 touchdowns, goes over 100 yards. I think it was 9 catches in there as well.
That's right.
And, really it was torching guys who were not Christian Gonzalez. Gonzalez actually shut him down pretty good. Held him to, I don't know what the exact numbers were, but he was in check for the most part. It was London getting to everybody else in the process. And, I'm sure some people saw, like Christian Gonzalez, he left this game in the fourth quarter. What's that mean for him going forward?
Yep.
It was concussion concerns. He spoke about after the game, just the fact that he even met with the media is a good indication of things to come. That he said no big deal. He cleared concussion protocol. And so hopefully he'll be out there at Tampa come Sunday. But as you said, with Bijan Robinson, this is a guy who I know is sometimes he'll kill you on the ground, sometimes he kills you in the air.
He's a weapon.
He's a premier talent in the NFL out of the backfield. And this for the Patriots now. And now it's a couple of straight weeks, right? It's Robinson. Week before, it's Quinshon Judkins, the rookie, who I know also left that game early with an injury. But this is 9 straight games to open the year where the Patriots have not yet allowed 50 rushing yards to a single back.
Wow.
That's an NFL record. No other team had even done 8. And now the Patriots are at 9 and counting going forward. And next week, we'll see about the return potentially of Bucky Irving. Otherwise, it's Rachaad White. White is obviously a much less capable runner than Irving is. And so see what that ends up looking like. But it is. This is a standout run defense right now that is finding a way to hold some of those, like you said, top guys in check.
I feel good about the rush defense against the Buccaneers. I have concerns about the quarterback showdown because that's exactly what it's going to be. Baker Mayfield is a dude. And Baker Mayfield is looking at all the Drake Maye hype. And Baker Mayfield's hearing this young phenom in New England is all that. And they're coming into their house.
Yeah,
they're going to Tampa. Okay, so I think this is a vintage Baker performance. In my head, we know what we're getting from him. The question now becomes, here we go again, another test for Drake Maye. Does he pass this test with flying colors as he did the last time he saw a real killer in Josh Allen? These things are going to happen. He's going to see Lamar Jackson. He's going to see Josh Allen again. These things are going to happen this year. This is a spot for Drake Maye to prove to the rest of the league. We know what he is around here. I watch Drake Maye. I'm like, I know who you are, okay? But now you can send that message to the rest of the league. I do think we're going to get a vintage Baker versus Drake, and we'll see who's the last man standing next week.
Well, and, over the course of these, in whatever order, right? Like we're here looking on Thursday, Friday, ahead to the weekend. We're coming in on Monday, and we're talking about all these wins, the 6 in a row, and it's like we're laughing at the Saints. We're laughing at the Titans. The Browns, sure, you got a great defense. What are you going to do offensively? Same story with the Falcons. Oh, you got the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. Watch out for Drake Maye.
That's right.
Well, now, like you said, this Bucs team is legitimate. This team is 6-2. This is one of those spots where a few weeks back we were sitting and kind of doing a Patriots reset, going through the schedule, win-loss, that whole thing. As we move the goalposts, how many games are the Patriots going to win this year? And admittedly, at the time, that is a spot that I chalked up as a loss. I don't know how I feel about it right now, but the Bucs coming off the bye, maybe getting a little bit healthier. We'll find out their personnel over the course of the week. There's no Mike Evans. We know that. He's done for the year. But Emeka Egbuka has been incredible.
He has.
He's been an awesome rookie. Baker, like you said, granted the 6-2 record, a lot of these games have flipped in the last 2 minutes of games. They've stolen wins. But you know what? They all count the same. And that's the resilience that if it had been Baker Mayfield in that situation yesterday with an opportunity in the final few minutes against the Patriots defense and not Michael Penix Jr., that maybe is a Bucs win. And so this is a tough litmus test kind of game for New England.
I want to give a game ball to the schedule makers because I believe they're going to flex this game. Now, Ethan, our esteemed producer, can you get in my ear or Adam's ear and tell me the Sunday night game this upcoming week? Because I'm telling you right now, it ain't too late. You have got to flex Patriots, Bucs to Sunday night.
Are you rooting for that?
What do you mean rooting for
Well,
it?
you got to be in here bright and early Monday morning.
I know, but
you
it's Steelers,
Get
Chargers.
some sleep.
Get that game out of here.
That game
No one gives a damn about no Steelers, Chargers. We want Patriots, Buccaneers, Sunday night. Listen, I'm going to sign a petition on this game ball. I'm going to pass it around to all of us like a collection plate. I want your signature for this, and then I'll send it to Goodell, and we'll get a Sunday night game. We need that flex. 617-790-0928. Call us. We're talking Pats. We're talking more in this show. You know we are. We're talking your basketball team. We're talking your red-hot hockey team. But right now, it's all about the Pats, baby. When we come back, we'll tell you what's trending in the world of sports. Hey, we have a Monday Nighter tonight, so more football, touchdowns, right here on Boston has entered the chat. Remember, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. on Nesson. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. right here on Nesson Nation. We'll be right back. Ah, yes, as we discuss what's trending in the world of sports, we look at the beautiful city.
That's nice.
Boston, Massachusetts, where we call home, where the red-hot Patriots are taking over the National Football League yet again because of their quarterback. Doesn't that sound familiar, old friend?
It sounds great. Yeah. I mean, look, we don't know what this winter is going to look like for the Garden teams. It remains to be seen. So
yes.
The fact that we could maybe have more than a fall take us obviously into December, into January. Dare we dream into February?
Oh.
This is nice. I like what's going on right here. We can sit here. I know we can't do it right now. We got other things to get to, but Drake Maye is not like he's not this flash in the pan like, oh, look at all these Patriots fans want to say Drake Maye MVP.
He's not Jeremy
second
Lin
on the odds board right now, man.
Yeah. He's not Jeremy.
Insanity.
Yeah, this isn't a Lin sanity thing. This guy's
second
here
on
to
the
stay.
odds board.
It sounds like
only Josh Allen, the reigning MVP, is ahead of him. Drake Maye is ahead of everybody else for MVP right now.
I don't want to get ahead of you here, but I know you pretty well. It sounds like you're suggesting this team could be super. I mean, I'm just saying. It feels like you're saying this team could be super.
I'm just saying I may or may not have a hotel room that I need to cancel or use out in Santa Clara in a few months.
Okay. All right. Hey, if I can fit in that suitcase, I'm there. Cardinals at Cowboys tonight.
We're doing the show live.
Oh, I'd love that.
Live from Radio Row.
I'd love that. Let's get our bosses on that now so we can start planning. Cardinals at Cowboys for Monday Night Football tonight in a game that no one cares about. Thank you. Have a good morning, everyone. I mean, who cares? Look, Kyler Murray's done. He's been in and out of the lineup all year any damn ways with injuries. When he does play, he doesn't win because he's not a leader and he's too small. Okay, let's just call it what it is. The Cowboys, they beat bad teams. I mean, I'll give them credit. Like, Dak's having a really good year. CeeDee Lamb's back and healthy. Pickens is really good. I think they're going to smash the Cardinals tonight. I'm not betting this game, but if I were, the last I saw the line, I think it was 3.5. I would lay a touchdown. So,
yeah, I was looking at a 2.5 the other day.
I mean,
so you were
like,
inside a field goal.
What are we
which
talking
I like.
about? Jacoby Brissett starting, and then they're saying Kyler's going to get some packages.
Have a role, they say.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're putting them in packages, put him in the G-damn game. Let him start. Let him play. If he's not healthy, then keep him out.
Yeah.
What are we doing? This game is trash. Cowboys win by blowout. I think the Cardinals need to start having a come-to-you-know-who moment of what are we? What are we doing? We need to get rid of this short king and get a real quarterback in here. They need a restart. They need a rebuild.
Unless you want to eat roughly $60 million in dead cap next year, you're kind of on the hook. You got to keep Kyler Murray around. I don't know if this organization is ready for a reset in the way that some others appear to be, like the Miami Dolphins, who, by the way, this morning traded Jalen Phillips over to Philadelphia. So the defending champs are looking to go do it again.
Rich get richer.
Remember, NFL trade deadline is tomorrow as we sit here right now. And so we all wonder what the Patriots are going to do. Is it going to be a pass rusher? I know you want one of those.
Yes,
Is it going
I
to
do.
be depth at wide receiver? Is it going to be help on the O-line? Is it going to be another running back with the absence of Antonio Gibson now for the remainder of the year, although it seems like they're content with this committee. Terrell Jennings played yesterday. First career touchdown. Good on him.
I'm fine with it.
I don't know that the Cardinals are really viewing themselves at that point where it's like, all right, well, let's have a bad year. It's been a bad year, 2-5. I agree with you. Probably going to be 2-6 at the end of the night tonight.
Yes.
Where are we in terms of chasing a top draft pick and getting ourselves a quarterback? Do they want to bring in a guy, even if they do keep Kyler next year? Do we want to bring in a guy and have him play behind and learn from him and all that stuff? Maybe get an opportunity when Murray inevitably gets hurt. Thing is, like, that day and age, like the Aaron Rodgers sitting behind Brett Favre, the Alex Smith playing ahead of Patrick Mahomes. Like, these days are over.
They're done.
In the NFL. When guys in the first round in particular are drafted to play quarterback, you're out there usually week 1. I know Drake Maye wasn't out there week 1 last year, but it wasn't long before he got that opportunity. There's an impatience to these organizations that don't want to waste the year of the rookie contract. They want to just kind of throw you to the fire. So it's either eat all that money and move on from Kyler, or you draft a guy. I don't see them,
it's not a good...
I don't see them sitting there, taking the guy, and then sitting him.
Well, think about this, too. Coming into this season, we thought Arch Manning, Cade Klubnik.
He's staying in school.
Klubnik with Clemson, your boy at LSU, Nussmeier, Sellers in South Carolina. All these dudes who we thought, we have this great quarterback draft class incoming. Wrong. I mean, if you watch college football, all those guys stink. This kid at Indiana's the guy. So, listen, if I'm the Cardinals, to your point, damn, like, do we eat this money or do we suck it up for another year? But, look, the answer to me, it doesn't matter necessarily what they do time-wise. The answer has already been determined.
Yeah,
Kyler doesn't work. It doesn't work. And so when you move off of him, that's up to you, but you got to move off of him. If I'm a Cardinals fan, I'm over it. As far as the Cowboys go, they'll get a win tonight. I think they'll continue to beat these bad teams, but their defense is trash. I'm not buying that this Cowboys team is a playoff team. I am buying that this Cowboys team can affect the playoff picture. I do think as we get in December and in January, they're going to be playing some teams that affect seeding. They may be pushing for a wild card spot. I just don't believe in them to be able to get there. That defense is too damn bad.
Yeah, I like points tonight to that point. And the total has risen. We were 47.5 at open, up around 54 now. It's climbed. It's soared, about a touchdown, which is kind of crazy. But it speaks to this Cowboys offense is terrific. The defense is abysmal.
Yes.
Both teams should be able to take advantage of the other team's weaknesses defensively. But, I think CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, these guys basically playing like a 1A, 1B with Dak Prescott, who's going to continue to put up numbers. They haven't lost yet at home this year. They're excellent inside the dome at Jerry World. And on the other side, I do like Trey McBride to score a touchdown. He has been just a picture-perfect match with Jacoby Brissett. This is 3 touchdowns of his 4 this year in the last 2 weeks, playing with Brissett, not with Murray, and he is getting a whole boatload of red zone targets as well.
I like that. It could be, it was tight ends week last week, but maybe Ferguson on Dallas gets involved too. It could be a tight end night.
Sure.
Hey, how about this? The Dodgers go back-to-back. They bought another World Series. That's a headline here. The Babylon Bee tweets this too. Dodgers purchase second World Series victory. I'm not going to lie, bro. I laughed at this, and Babylon B, shout outs to you because you're not wrong. But this is what baseball is it not? Like, what am I missing? Like, you know what I want? I want the Red Sox to buy a World Series too. Can we? I mean, am I wrong for saying, can we bring back Bregman? That's expensive. I wish I had a sound effect. Cha-ching! You need a second pitcher for Garrett Crochet. That's going to be expensive. Cha-ching! You need another bat in the lineup, preferably at first baseman, a big burly man that can hit home runs. That ain't cheap. Cha-ching! Can you buy a World Series here so I can get a duck parade because I ain't got one yet and I need it in my life? Like, what's the problem? Congrats to the Dodgers. Go ask them.
To the Celtics one?
I was there.
Okay.
Go ask the Mets.
Yeah, Red Sox parade's
ask
different.
the Mets about printing money. What does it get you? Ask the Padres, Phillies, Cubs.
Right, but
there's all these teams.
That's sort of where you're talking out of both sides of your mouth a little bit.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you got to spend. And look, there's no salary cap in baseball. Do it. Do what everybody else is doing. I have no I want you to spend. I want you to go out and be in the conversation to buy a World Series. So that's all good. I'm not criticizing that.
All right.
Obviously, you got to spend the right way. Because to your point, I'm looking at Spot Track right now. The Dodgers have a $350 million payroll for 2025.
Lord.
But you know who's right behind them
Mets.
at 342? The Mets, who won 83 regular season games
Lord
and
have mercy.
blew it, as the year moved along. And then you got the Yankees, the Phillies, the Blue Jays, who check in at number 5, who are obviously right there in that World Series. Should have won it, by the way. They were up 3-2, 3-2 in the series. They were 2 outs away from finishing the thing in Game 7 and squander it. But then the Astros, the Rangers, the Braves, the Padres, the Cubs, the Angels. Why haven't I said the Red Sox yet?
Facts.
Boston is all the way down at number 12 at $200 million based on what I am looking at right here for 2025. So, yeah, I mean, you got to bring back Bregman. You got to be willing to. Now, I don't necessarily. He's coming off a great year, but I worry about the injury concerns of other moments in this contract. But Trevor Story, do you have to pay him? Obviously, you got to go out. You got to get that number 2, that real number 2 starter. All due respect to Brian Bayo. I like what Bayo did last year, and Giolito as well. But you need a Joe Ryan type. You need someone who is another team's number 1. Coming over and being your number 2.
Sure.
A bona fide number 2 playing behind Garrett Crochet. And look, take advantage of all of the homegrown talent that's making little money on this roster and surround them with those high-priced guys. Be willing, if Philly, you've talked about it 1,000 times, if Philly actually is willing to get into a bidding war and let this guy go, bring back Kyle Schwarber.
Absolutely.
Pay him out the nose.
Absolutely.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Get these guys, spend the money. Because unfortunately, with where we are in today's day and age in Major League Baseball, that's just what it takes. And I'm not going to fault the Dodgers for doing what they did. I wish Ohtani and Yamamoto were here.
Fair. Hey, when we come back, we're talking B's and C's right here on Boston has entered the chat. Get in here and call us. We're just 617-790-0928. And we've got big news. Boston has entered the chat. Merch is officially here. You can now grab a t-shirt or a hoodie and explore Nesson's full Wicked Wearables line, brought to you in partnership with Breaking Tea Shop. Now at NessonWickedWearables.com.
Get some hoodies.
Welcome back to Boston has entered the chat. Adam and I have always said, don't let them Bruins get hot. The Bar Scar tweets, Bruins absolutely love seeing Zadorov flatten people left and right. Fire! Wanted the shutout, but Swayman still showed up big time. A well-earned win. Let's go, Bruins. So this in the heels of the 2-1 win over the Canes on Saturday. Paul E. dangerously tweets how I'm feeling. Ric Flair with the woo! 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 Ric Flair drip, baby. How about them Bruins? 3 in a row. They play the Isles tomorrow night on the road. Bruins are hot, bro.
Yeah, streaky, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 3 straight wins to start the season under Marco Sturm. Obviously, the 6-game slide, and all of a sudden the sky is falling and everyone's panicking, and this team is dead and stinks and all that.
To be fair, Adam.
Wasn't playing well.
That Senators loss.
Was not well, and that was outside of that 6-game
That
skid.
was
Yeah,
tough.
7-2, but that's sort of part of this whole thing.
Yes.
They bounced back, 3 straight wins now, and I know it's early, but also it's not, because a lot of people, especially in the world of hockey, make a big deal out of, are you in a playoff position by American Thanksgiving?
Okay.
And generally speaking, if you are, you're in the mix come the end of the year. And we're only a few weeks out from that. So the Bruins need to continue to play well right now. It's clearly, because it's early, a crowd of teams. You know, you're tied points-wise for 3rd in the Atlantic Division.
Yeah.
You're tied points-wise with 3-4 other teams atop the wild card standings in the Eastern Conference.
Sure.
So again, you're in the mix with these groups. Problem, if we're to look for a problem, is that Boston has played 1 to 2 more games than all of these other teams. So you need to go out and obviously feast on those points going forward as you have an opportunity. But you mentioned the Islanders. You know, they just beat them 5-2. Now you're going on the road to their house, and you're going to try and do the same thing. That Senators 7-2 loss was awful with Jeremy Swayman in net.
Worst of the year.
You know, that leads to back-to-back games for the first time in his young Bruins career of Jonas Korpisalo, and plays great, where a lot of us were sitting here going, all right, so is it going to be 3 in a row? Is he going to play that afternoon game on Saturday against Carolina? And Sturm decides, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to Jeremy Swayman, show him the vote of confidence. And as we saw in the tweet, Swayman was excellent in that game. And so now, even though the raw stats off this 7-7 start to the season aren't great for either goaltender, both over this course of, you know, again, this 3 straight wins, they've hit a little bit of a stride. And part of it comes back to Sturm pressing all the right buttons at the moment. You know, whether it's Zadorov, who was mentioned in that tweet, on that top pairing with Charlie McAvoy. McAvoy had gotten off to a slow start to the year. These 2 guys are clicking, shutting down other teams' top lines. Again, a lack of a totally predictable rotation in net. You know, both these guys are getting an opportunity and flourishing again. Very small sample size, but he's reading the room in terms of who to go with when. So that's working out. And even just some of the forward changes, like Casey Middlestat getting benched. Sturm talking about how, he was pissed off, and he should be pissed off if he's not playing, but he's responded to it. He's back in the lineup, and boy, that line looks great. You know, the way that he has performed with Arvidsson, with Zaka, 5-on-5, you could make the case that they have been the Bruins' best line in recent games, weeks. So things are trending right now in the right direction, which is what you're looking for a team that entered the year with very low expectations from the outsiders.
I'm going to repeat everything you just said. I'm just going to gas it up further because, listen, I brought up that Senators loss to you because I was so embarrassed going on television that next day after that game because it's like, what the hell do I say? I mean, these guys
how do I put lipstick on this pig?
Dude, like they just put a football number on you, right? So it's like they just put a touchdown on you. And I remember us talking in that moment about, okay, let's see how you bounce back. This is an Islanders team you're pretty well matched against, even matched up, you would think. And then you come into that and you go down 2-0 early, remember? And then they score 5 unanswered, I believe it was. So you did respond. Then the next game, it's another winnable, I'm using air quotes, winnable game against the Sabres. Remember that?
Sure.
That game goes to overtime.
2-0 against Buffalo
and
it
was I would say a masterclass. You said Marco Sturm's doing a good job, making adjustments and all that. I would say that game, especially late, was a masterclass from him. Excellent work from Sturm, from your head coach there. Your team's clearly responding to your moves, to your buy-in, a word he always uses, a term he always uses. Then we all kind of see, okay, you got a little momentum. You got that taste out of your mouth against that bad loss I mentioned. But now it's a test against the Canes. Here come the Canes. I thought for sure the Bruins would lose this game, and it was the best I've seen, not only Jeremy Swayman, but I would say Charlie McAvoy this season. The best performances both of them turned in this season. Great spot against the Canes, and you win that. Now you're bona fide. Now you have a real win streak. Here's Jeremy Swayman after that team's big win this weekend against the Canes.
It's important for us. Obviously wanted to end this homestand off the right way. And I just thought we had a complete game tonight. That's something that we could really build on, and good to have momentum. 3 games now, feeling good about our game and moving forward.
How do you stay game ready after not being in the last couple?
Just day by day, making sure every time I'm on the ice, do whatever I can to get better, keep myself sharp, and again, I just know whenever my name is called, I'm going to do whatever I can to help this team win games.
Sway, just describe what it's like when the team's playing that well defensively that leads to the 2 goals.
It's just a good flow. Guys aren't getting too high or too low. You know that every line coming over the bench is going to give their max effort, and that's a really big thing for momentum, confidence. Guys are going to make plays that way when they know that everyone's going to be in position and just do their job the right way. So it's going to help our game a lot.
How did you handle Thursday, not going right back in?
It's just like any other day. Prepare the same way, expect to play, and just be ready for whenever my name is called.
Hey, Adam, this is a simple question. I know the answer isn't simple, but this entire Bruins roster is built and predicated on, obviously, Pasta and Geeky scoring your goals, but it's defense and it's Swayman and net.
Building out from the goal.
Yes. So how do we get him to play like this consistently? Easy question. The answer has to be tough.
I don't think he knows. I don't think the goalie coach, Bob Asenza, knows, the coaching staff in general. And some of it sometimes is mental. Some of it, obviously, a lot of it. Like Casey, when she's in here with us, she's always rattling off stats about shots from the high danger areas and all of this. It comes back to how does the defense play in front of you? Because as the goaltending, as the goaltender, your last line defense and all of that, you don't want to deflect responsibility to the guys that are playing in front of you.
Fair.
It's a total team effort. There are a lot of times that they'll clean up stuff for you, you'll clean up stuff for them. Again, this has to work as a unit,
team.
obviously. But I think by the same token, the defense does need to respond in front of them and try and prevent at least those really great opportunities. And then if you allow a bad goal, like that's on you. That's not on the guys in front of you. But if we could limit the amount of times, the amount of chances that guys are getting from just perfect angles, opportunities, nobody in front of him, 2-on-1s, whatever it may be. But some of it for Swayman, too. Young year, but some of the games that he's Vegas, Colorado twice, Florida. Like, he's playing some of the tougher games.
Yeah, he is.
Obviously, which is what, by the way, your number one goalie who's making north of $8 million a season has to do.
That's the gig.
He just needs to find a little bit more consistency, as you said.
Casey Middlestat agrees with me that the Bruins played their best game this season against the Canes.
Yeah, I think that was probably our best game structure-wise, especially against a really good team. They're coming in hot and they've scored a lot of goals this year. So, to shut them down, I think was good. And like I said, I thought it was our best game structure-wise so far.
What's been working so well for your line recently?
I think we're just playing with speed and making plays. And if mistakes are made, guys are covering for each other and working hard. And I think we've done a good job sorting things out in the D zone and going up ice from there. So he's kind of challenged us with the top line of the other teams. So I feel like we responded well.
What does it do for the confidence of the room right now to have 3 wins in a row, kind of stack some success?
Yeah, I think especially after a tough stretch and then a tough game in Ottawa to come home and really defend home ice. I think it's one of the prides of our team is we want to be a good home team and have this be a tough place to play. So definitely feels good and now we got to go do it on the road.
Yo, Adam, I don't want to look past the aisles tomorrow night. You got to handle your business.
You can't.
Go on the road, handle your business, beat them again.
Right where you are in the standings,
That's right.
basically.
Beat them again. I'm not saying that. But I am looking forward to Thursday when the Sens come here. You owe the Senators. I ain't like that game, though. I didn't like that game last week. You owe them. That's a revenge game in my book.
Have a couple with them coming up, too. It's not
That's
just
right.
this one on Thursday.
That's right.
There's a couple.
That's right.
You see this team plenty, obviously. And
Yep.
Ottawa, there's a little bit of a get-right spot, you hope, for Boston. Because the Senators are not, the Habs, the Red Wings, the Devils, like some of these teams that are playing better atop their divisions right now. This is a team that obviously took it to you with that 7-2 win, but in the standings is basically where you are, same as the Islanders. There are a whole bunch of teams that are kind of clumped into that dictionary definition of mediocre that are trying to get over the hump here. Again, a lot of season ahead of them. But, you'd like to just for, dressing room morale, turn this thing around. You don't need to go out and reverse the thing and beat them 7-2, but how about a nice 3-1 win?
I like that. Yeah. I'll take that. 617-790-0928. Will you take that? Will you talk bees with us? In fact, when we come back here on Boston Has Entered the Chat, we're going to pivot like Kevin McHale and talk C's. Get in here. Party with us. Boston Has Entered the Chat. Remember, Monday through Friday right here on Nesson at 8 a.m. At 9 a.m., the party continues on Nesson Nation. Roll with us. Boston Has Entered the Chat. We'll be right back. Basketball, give me the ball, cause I'm gonna dunk it, yeah! Here on Boston Has Entered the Chat, Jazz at Celtics tonight. Jazz are on a 3-game slide. And for the Celtics, we'll just ignore that Rockets game. Ime Udoka, we remember him. He's gonna stick it to the Celtics every chance he gets.
Took it to him.
Okay, but hey, with the addition of that game, Celtics have been playing pretty good.
It's not like the Celtics did Ime dirty. They couldn't have been nicer on his way out the door. Let him save face at every turn. What are you talking about?
And I guess me saying stick it to the franchise is a wrong term to use.
Yeah, no, he did that.
Thanks a lot, Ime. Outside of that, I think the team's been playing pretty good. I think they beat the Celtics tonight. beat the Jazz tonight. Here's my thing, though. It always comes back to gambling. I'm looking at the line in this game.
Big line.
Look, I think the Celtics are going to win tonight. 10.5 points.
Who are the Celtics right now to be 10.5 favorites over anybody?
No one.
Anybody.
No one, bro. Listen, I'll take the Jazz. It might be my favorite play of the night to take the Jazz to cover the number.
No, I'd rather just stay away from it. You don't have to bet everything.
You don't have to bet everything.
As they say. I might sit this one out, throw the Celtics in a money line parlay with other teams that I like. Never mind.
You can talk me off the ledge.
Just win.
I'm in the corner you got any more of them bets? You got any more? You're right. It should be a money line parlay or I should stay away. 10.5 points? You're not 10.5 points better than anyone in the world.
No, look, everybody, absent, obviously, Jason Tatum, is available for Boston. In fact, nobody is even on the injury report with, questionable. Jaylen Brown, Derek White, that sort of. Everybody is going to be out there, maybe in part because these guys barely played in that curb stomping at the hands of the Rockets. I don't even think Brown played 20 minutes in that game. It got out of hand so quickly, and they just waved the white flag. None of the starters played in the fourth quarter of that one. The Jazz are a bad team, and we knew coming into the year, the Jazz would be a bad team. But if you really dive into it, where it is right now, you said it. Well, the 3 straight losses, obviously, that you mentioned, they're 2-4, 0-3 on the road, by the way. But the games that they have played of late, they have lost to. It's not just that they've lost 3 in a row. Sure. They have fallen to. Let me pull it up here real quick. Listen to this ragtag group. The Portland Trailblazers, who is playing better. It's a 4-2 team, but it's not a good team.
Yeah, their coach is in jail. That's a thing.
And then more recently, at the Suns, awful.
Yep.
At the Hornets, awful. Oh my God. And you're losing to these teams.
Yeah.
So, maybe the Celtics should take it to the Jazz tonight. But at the same time, if we're going to go back to, okay, what concerns you about Boston? What are the issues the Celtics are trying to climb through and all that? The Jazz have bigs.
Sure.
They got some size on that team. There's no doubt about that. Markkanen obviously is not a big, but he's off to a hot start. He's averaging 33 points
He's a good player.
33 a game in his half dozen games so far this year.
He's a good player.
But Kessler is averaging 11 rebounds. Nurkic is there, averaging about 8 rebounds in limited minutes, only 18 minutes
He's
per
also
game.
slower than molasses.
Sure, but again, this is about rim protection and grabbing offensive rebounds when you have an opportunity. Size. You can't teach size.
No.
You can teach effort, and we talk about that with the Celtics all the time.
Yes.
Defensive effort, rebounding effort. Like Joe Mazzulla had that quote last week saying, we just need to get up in the morning, get out of bed, and decide we're going to rebound
He's
tonight.
right.
That's what it really comes down to. And so I kind of understand the spread. And I don't want to bet it, but I kind of understand in the sense that the Celtics, with their talent versus Utah's talent, should go out and lay the wood. It should just be an emphatic win over at the Garden tonight for Boston, the get-right spot after what happened against the Rockets. Are the three-pointers going to fall? Derek White going to hit a 3?
Well, what you're talking
is Peyton Pritchard going to hit a 3?
What you're talking about is the formula, right? It's formulaic for these Celtics. You talk about what Mazzulla said, waking up and deciding we have to crash boards because we don't have the size.
Right.
So it's got to be an attitude. Same with transition defense. Same with rim protection. You don't have anyone big enough to really, truly protect the rim. So it has to be effort, right? Mm-hmm. You have 2 games now, in my opinion, both against the Jazz tonight at home, and then the Wizards at home.
Right, another terrible team.
You should beat the hell out of both of these teams. Mm-hmm. Feel a little good about yourself before the schedule gets dicey. Now you're playing the Magic in a back-to-back. That's a different conversation. Mm-hmm. But the Magic aren't playing great right now.
No, slow start.
But listen, in terms of Utah and the Wizards, you got to win both of these games. And that's the formula, Adam. We all know it. You're going to live and die by the 3. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you live over the next 2 games because we know they're going to jack the 3s up. You have got to crash boards based on, as we said, effort and attitude. You have to rim protect as best you can, whether it's charges or just muddying it up, yucking it up in the paint, not making it easy for these guys to get finishes around the basket. This is a formula for this Celtics team. I think they can do that and win a couple games in a row, and I feel good about it. As you look at the schedule, it's a long season, but as you look at the schedule and you start going game by game and all that, there's a lot of L's on the schedule that is coming, okay? Giannis is going to beat your arse. It just is what it is. There's certain matchups that just don't bode well for the Celtics. These are the games you must win. You have to beat the Jazz. You can't mess around here. You have to beat the Wizards when you see them. You can't mess around here. Hornets, these trash teams. These are the games you have to win. If we can all agree, well, not all of us, because I say they should tank, but most of us think this team will be hovering around that 8 seed or that play-in range. If that's the case, these are the games you got to win.
Well, if they take care of enough of those games, I think you'll be a little bit better. You'll be maybe a 6 seed, avoid the play-in tournament.
Even worse.
Is it?
Yes.
Look, I know that
I'm the only one.
You're not the only one.
It feels it.
You're maybe around here, like you're in this building and the people that you're talking to. But there are a lot of people out there. Listen to sports talk radio, do it. There are plenty of people that want the tank and want the draft pick, if not to even use it necessarily, but just to have the asset and be able to rebuild in that way. And I get it. If you are not, and this would apply to anybody, if you're not in the contender conversation, what's the point, right? You know, that's what it kind of comes down to. And you don't want to be in NBA purgatory where you're in that, okay, we're good enough to make the playoffs, but we're not good enough to, you know, win around, do anything when we get there. It remains to be seen, and this is me, you know, with I don't even know what to call it, but sitting here going, well, what about Jason Tatum?
Right.
If we knew, and we don't, nobody knows. Celtics don't know, Tatum doesn't know. If we knew Jason Tatum was going to be back in a wide open Eastern Conference, and look, 95% the player he was before he got hurt, and he's returning in February or, you know, beginning of March, something like that, and you start to believe, okay, you know what, maybe we can actually make a run here. That changes the conversation, changes the whole scope of the whole thing. The problem is we don't know that.
Yeah, no,
you know,
that's
and
fair.
so you don't want to sit around, not that they're throwing games, tanking games, anything like that.
Sure.
But you need to win, to your point, you need to win these games. These games. Like beating Philadelphia last week, end of the week, you know, the 1-point win after they took it to you and beat you by 1 there in the opener when you blew the 13-point fourth quarter lead. You win this game, the tip-off of the NBA Cup. I don't care about the NBA Cup, but they win that game.
Right.
Good. That's a get-back spot. You're supposed to at least be in the mix, in the conversation, competitive, and they go out and they take care of business. They win that game. Nobody, I don't think, thought they were going to beat the Rockets. I didn't think they were going to be. I didn't think it'd be as ugly as it was. But I didn't think the Rockets were going to come into the Garden and lose to Boston. But this here is a game you have to win.
These two.
Sure.
Jazz and Wizards. You got to listen.
And honestly, I'd like to see a split in Orlando.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can cross that bridge when it comes, but I'm with you.
But
here's something else I want to see. Here's something else I want to see. You know, Jaylen Brown, like he had finally he had a couple games back to back at him 30 points, right?
Sure.
And then the Rockets, he doesn't even play because it was out of reach, right? So you sit him. I get that. But in these games we're talking about with the Jazz and then subsequently the Wizards next, okay. Like, Jaylen Brown, I need you to enter the chat again. This is your moment. We don't talk about this enough on this show, in my opinion. I think we could do a whole topic on Jaylen Brown. You're supposed to be the man. This is your opportunity. I mean, your whole career.
Extremely well. He's averaging 25 points a game.
I guess my point is I need to see what I saw from him before the Rockets game, those pair of games where he scored 30 and he looked like Jaylen Brown. I need to see that consistently. I need that. He should, in my opinion, this season, playoffs be damned, Jaylen Brown should be in running for the scoring title. I need that kind of season from him. And he's not going to be. And that's kind of my point. So with the Jazz and with the Wizards, let me see you get 30s against these scrub teams. I don't think that's too much to ask. It's supposed to be your time to be the man.
Yeah, for me, it's not about what I need to see from Jaylen Brown. It's what I need to not see, which is all these turnovers. He's averaging 4.3 assists per game, 4 turnovers per game. The assist-to-turnover ratio is trash. And this is a guy who, absent Tatum again,
numbers
needs
don't
to
lie.
Be more of a playmaker.
Numbers don't lie.
More of a playmaker. He's got to clean it up.
Hey, we're not done. We're done on Nesson. But the party continues on Nesson Nation. Call us 617-790-0928. It is
good.
0928. Call us. Get in here. We're still partying on Nesson Nation. Come party with us. We're talking about all your teams. How about them Pats, baby?
Beautiful.
Come on.